The average living room in North America is approximately 330 square feet. Add in a couch and a coffee table and other pieces of furniture, and the space that's left is fairly limited. Over the last few months, the world has become a very different place, and a lot of people have adapted their own workout routines to doing them in their home. So I wondered, for the average dog owner, how could they take advantage of the space that's left and do something with their dog that burned off some energy, gave their dog some exercise? Because for a lot of dogs, a walk just isn't enough. This is where 21-time world champion of dog agility, Kayl comes in. She's going to show you 5 tricks that she works on with her dogs when she can't get outside to exercise them. For you, these are the kinds of tricks that are going to exercise your dog's body and their brain. I'm Ken Steep, and welcome back to McCann Dogs. This episode is brought to you by Eukanuba.
This exercise is called weaving through the legs. I chose to use Cheerio on purpose for this one because I know he is really motivated by treats, as you can see how intensely he's staring at me right now. So if you have a dog that likes treats, you might find this one goes really quick for you as well. Now, I like to teach this particular trick to my dogs because I find it really helps with flexibility, with coordination. It's also a really good problem-solving skill. For some dogs, going between your legs can be a little bit scary, so it also can work to build their confidence as well. So we're gonna start off, we're going to start off with the first few steps to teach this exercise. So we're going to start off right at the beginning with Mr. Cheerio here. And in order to do this, you're going to need to make sure that you have pieces of food in both hands. And I'm just going to start off by opening my legs so he can get through. And I'm just going to start off by putting my hand in the middle where I can reward him a few times. Once I have him focused on the food, I'm going to pull him through my legs. Yes, good boy, and then I'm gonna reward. And then of course I'm gonna try the other side. So I'm gonna put the food here just to get him stationed. Yay! And I'm gonna pull him around. Now remember, when you're teaching a new trick, try not to worry about giving any commands at first. Make sure the dog's comfortable with the movement first, and then we can go ahead and add the verbal behavior afterwards. So I'm gonna try it again. Yes, good boy. Yes, you're a quick study, young man. Good boy. Let's try it a little faster. Yes. Yay, good boy. Now, this dog loves food. So this is gonna go really quickly. I'm gonna see if I can progress to going a little bit faster. And because he's doing it pretty easily, I'm also going to make this a bit of a command. Ready, set, go through. Yes, go through. Yes, good boy, go through. Yes, through. Yes, wow. I have a sneaky suspicion I'm going to be able to make a bit more of a progression here. You ready? Set, go through, go through, go through. Yes, go through. Yay! That was so good. Now, Cheerio is a really quick study on this, but let's talk about a couple things that often can go wrong when you're practicing this. Now, number one, you need to make sure that your dog stays really focused on the food. So make sure that as you're luring your dog through your legs, that you move your hand nice and slow so your dog doesn't get distracted. Also, don't get caught up in how much fun it is and make them do a million figure eights in a row. Try to make sure when you start off that you're gonna do, oops, freebie, here it is. Here we go. You're gonna do just 1 or 2 little loops at a time before rewarding. Oh, thank you, buddy. Excellent. Boy, wanna try again? Ready? Go through. Yes, good boy. Go through. Yes, go through. Yay, good man. Way to go, that was a fun one. Oh my goodness, yes. Good boy, well done. Now for the next trick that you can practice indoors in order to exercise your dog, I've recruited a really big dog. Her name's Sky, she's an Irish Wolfhound. And I wanna make sure that everybody knows that regardless of the size of dog that you have, we can make sure that we find a trick that works for everybody. So in this particular one, we're gonna work on some puppy push-ups. Now what are puppy push-ups? Well, they're basically the same thing as we would do for push-ups. It's really, really good for working on building strength and muscle tone. You're gonna end up working on muscles that they don't normally use when you're out for a walk, and it's just great general fitness.
As we're fitting this dog inside this living room.
Now keep in mind, you can do this exercise with any size dog, but this is a particularly great one to do if you have a dog that's pretty big. I don't need a lot of space. As you can see, she's taking up most of it. So we're gonna start off with a really easy version, and that's simply luring our dogs from a down position to a sit position. And you're gonna go up and down a few times, rewarding each time. Now, if your dog doesn't have a lot of experience with these exercises, go ahead and use a bit of food and reward each time. So I'm gonna tell her, sit. Yes, and reward her for pushing herself up. See if she has to use all of her chest muscles. Down. Yes, good girl. And sit. Yeah, good girl. And down. Yes, good girl. One more time. Sit. Yes. Moving up from the down is much more difficult on the body than it is to go down into position. Now, if that goes well, we can make it a little bit more challenging by going from stand to down. Now, when I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna get her standing first, and I'm gonna lure her nose into her chest so that she sort of folds back into that down. Butt hits, yes. Ba-boom, yes, good girl. And then I'm gonna have her up. Okay, yes. You can see she has to use these muscles in order to stand back up again. I'm gonna push her back down, push the food into her chest. Here, girl, down. Wait for the bum to hit. Yes, good girl. And I'm gonna try and bring her up. Okay, yay, beautiful. Now, if you have a dog that is a little bit older or maybe can be a bit sore sometimes, I definitely would not recommend that you do this very much. 1 or 2 reps is all you need to do. Obviously, if you have a young, fit dog, you can do a little bit more, but you need to make sure that whatever you do, it's the right thing for your particular dog. Now, I've recruited Little Hippie Shake to help us with our next trick, and that's to teach our dogs how to do an army crawl. Now, this one looks really cool, and obviously it's gonna work all kinds of muscles, and it's gonna require a little bit of problem solving as well. Now, you may find it easiest to teach this with a little bit of a prop. You could use a broomstick or a hockey stick. It's gonna help teach your dog to crouch underneath something. So Hippie's actually not done this trick before, which is why I thought she would be a good example. And she can actually be a little bit unsure about some new things. So I'm actually gonna start off here, babe. Just teaching her to, be comfortable around the broom. Good girl. All right, so now I'm gonna lure her into a down, and I'm just gonna place the broom over top. Good girl. Yes, that's my girl. Yay! Good girl. Okay, so she can see she's a little bit apprehensive, so I'm actually just gonna start off by putting it pretty high here. Get it. Okay, get it. Yay! Ready? Get it. Yes, get it. Yes, good girl. Oops, wrong pocket. Wrong pocket. Ready? Get it. Yes, get it. Yes. It's okay. Yes. Oh, good girl. You're doing so good. Yes! See her start to get more comfortable as I get the treats underneath, and I'm just rolling them here just to kind of take the pressure off or let her go. Oh, good girl. That she offered to go under her own, so now I think we're ready to start to add a little bit more of the trick into place. Yes! Good girl! Good, down. Yes, good girl. So what I'm waiting for her to do is just take a couple little shuffles forward, and I'm specifically looking at her elbows and her belly, because it's very common when you're training this exercise that if we move our hand up, our dogs just go right back into walking. And this is particularly difficult with a small dog like Hippie, who's already so close to the ground. Now, when you're teaching something new, if you ever find that your dog's struggling with it, or maybe they need a little bit more practice, one of the tricks that a lot of dog trainers will do is they'll actually take a break from the trick and then revisit it, after a few moments have passed. Now, as you probably noticed, Hippie was a little bit nervous about what to do with the broomstick here, so I've given her a little bit of time off. We're gonna go ahead and practice another time and see if there's been any improvements. Oh, that's a cute little sneeze. So I'm gonna go ahead and try it again. Yes, good girl. You're gonna find that sometimes when you go back at something, yes, good girl. Your dog actually can be a lot more confident because they've already seen the snare before. It's not brand new. Yes, good girl. You're getting more comfy now. Down, wait. Okay. Yay! Wow, good girl. One more. Down, wait. Okay. Yes, I made that one pretty low. That was good. Good girl. So, teaches you practice makes perfect. If you find you're struggling, take a little bit of a break, go back and revisit it. Short little spurts of training is definitely the best way to go when learning something new. Good girl. Now, this trick is called perch work. Now, I do a lot of this in agility training to teach rear end awareness, to teach balance and coordination. You're gonna find this helpful to be able to get your dog to get up and off of things when you ask them as well. Now, I'm gonna start off with a bit of food in my hand, and I'm just gonna start by luring Cheerios front feet right up onto this box. Now, you can use anything in your house. You could use a box, you could use a pillow cushion. I suggest starting with a little wider surface to begin with. It's a little bit easier. So this is no problem for him. I'm gonna start to incorporate getting off of the box, up. Yes, and simply just moving my hand, okay, up. Yes, Yes, good boy. Good for you. Good man. Oh, my goodness. Now, you may find that when you're practicing, your dog might get a little overzealous and they might start to offer something different. The great thing about, these types of tricks is we're supposed to be exercising their mind. So if you get a little bit of creativity from your dog, don't ignore that. Yes, and reward. Oh, yes, good boy. Yes, and reward that so your dog starts to learn to offer different behaviors to you. Okay, buddy, let's try a different version though. So we can get up on the box with front feet, we can get up on the box with all 4 feet, but if we really want to work on some conditioning and some exercises, what we can also start to do is work on getting him to move around the box. Okay, hold on. You're so excited. Off. So I'm gonna lower his front feet up, and what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna move into him a little bit. I'm gonna watch his back feet. I'm gonna keep his nose in place, and yes, good boy, as I step into him, if his back feet start to move away, yes, I'm going to reward him. Good boy. So I'm going to keep his head in position, move in towards him. Yes, good boy. Okay, and then I'm going to break it off. That was a good one. Do we want to try it again? Yeah. Yes, good. I'm going to feed him for being in position. And again, I'm going to simply apply a little bit of pressure into his body. Yes, good boy. Yes, good boy. Excellent. And as he starts to get better at this, I can actually start to teach him to go all the way around the outside of the perch. And that's gonna really work on strengthening his back end and teach a lot of great coordination. Now, if things are going well with your dog, you can start to increase the difficulty by going to a smaller size box. It really could be anything, books. I just have a little Tupperware container that I got here, and I'm gonna place it down and do exactly the same thing. Now, again, if you're changing something, make sure that you go back to the original sort of step. So rather than asking for him to spin around, ooh, he's gonna offer it for me already, I'm just gonna start off by getting his feet up. Now, a common mistake that people make on this exercise is they sometimes will overface the dog too quickly. So make sure you take your progression slowly. Another common thing is people forget to go both ways. Think about if you're working out. You don't just want to strengthen one side of your body, you want to strengthen both sides. So, if he's comfortable spinning around this direction, I need to also make sure I practice going the other way. And I would simply, yes, good boy, simply repeat the process. I would just pressure this side of his body instead, making sure that both sides were equal. Good boy, buddy, was that fun or what? Now, before we go any further, I want to give a shout out to the sponsor of today's video.
Huge thank you to the sponsor of our video today, Eukanuba. Each Eukanuba formula features Active Advantage. It's an exclusive protein and nutrient-powered design that helps fuel your dog's body, mind, and their energy. We create videos here on our YouTube channel to help you get out and do more with your 4-legged family member. And Eukanuba believes that with dogs, an active life is a healthy life. And we couldn't agree more. Check out the link in the description below to find out which Eukanuba formula is right for your dog.
Now, the first couple tricks I showed you were really physical for the dogs, and this particular one that I'm going to show you next also requires a lot of coordination on the dog's part, but it's really going to work some mental stimulation. This is going to require a training technique called shaping. So if you've ever played that hot and cold game when you were younger, this type of training is very similar. So I have a box here, and my goal is that I can train Lucy to get inside the box. Now, on the last couple exercises, I used some food to show the dog how to do the behavior. On this one, I'm going to require Lucy to use a little bit more problem-solving skills, and she's going to have to think of it herself to get in the box. What I'm going to do is reward her good choices along the way. So I'm going to start off by just having a couple pieces of food ready here, which you can see she's super excited about. I'm going to have my box nearby. Yes, good girl. And then anything that Lucy has to do with the box, yes, good girl, I'm going to, yes, reward her for. Sniffing, yes. Putting her head close to the box, putting a paw in, yes. Oh, yes, good girl. Now, every time she gets closer to my final goal, I'm going to increase the rate of rewards. Yes, good girl. So we got 2 little paws there. Yes, good girl. Now, what's super important for this one, okay, just gonna have a reset for a second. Come here, what's this? What's really important for this one is when you say the word yes, you need to make sure that when you say yes, it's exactly at the point that you're trying to reinforce. Good girl, yes. Now, she is starting to offer 2 paws pretty easily, so I'm gonna go for the gusto here, and I'm gonna wait for her to do a little bit more before she gets any more rewards. Try again. So isn't this interesting? I'm getting a few different behaviors. She's actually offering to bow now. So I'm gonna reward her for that because I don't want her to get frustrated. And what I'm gonna do now is help her out a little bit. 2 feet, good. I'm just gonna lure her so that, yes, oh, we got back feet and the front feet came out. Yay, good girl. But this is sort of the fun thing about shaping. You don't have to, get the dog to climb the mountain in order to get the reward. I'm just gonna reward all the little increments along the way. Yes, good girl. Yes. Yes, there we go, good. And now I'm gonna use the food to try and get these back feet in. Yes, good, yes. Good girl, yes. 3 for 4 in about a couple minutes. That's pretty good, Lulu. Okay, let's try one more. Yes, good girl. Do you see how she's offering to go in the box without me even asking? Dogs learn through positive reinforcement, so if they get reinforced for something, they're much more likely to offer it again. Yes, good girl. Let's try and get that 3rd foot again. Yes. Oh my goodness, jackpot! And once you get that final goal, what a good girl. You want to really reward generously. Wow, Luz, that was so good. Now let's talk about a few challenges that you might have while you're training this exercise. Now, number 1, sometimes if you just put a box down and just stand there, good girl, Luz, a lot of dogs, and initially what she would have done is just stood there and stared at the box, and you don't just want to be having a staring contest for too long with your dog. Shaping is about creativity and offering behavior, so make sure that you help your dog to do a little bit more guessing. When I first brought the box into the room, Lucy was a little bit unsure about it, so I actually started off by just throwing a couple treats into the box, just to get her to investigate, to sniff it a little bit, just to build her confidence about it. But don't let your dog stall out for too long without offering something. Step in and make it a little bit easier so you can keep the pace moving along with your dog. You're so funny. The other thing that's important to note too is what you use for your shaping exercise. I picked a box that is Lucy size. Hey, Missy. It's big enough that she can easily get inside. It's not too high, it's not too intimidating. Yes, good girl. You're so funny. Now that she knows it's good, she just wants to keep doing it. So you want to use a box that's properly sized for your dog to make sure it's really easy to get into. Make sure it's stable and it's not going to tip around or slide. I'm practicing on a carpet to give it a little bit more friction. And those are things that are just going to help your training session go a little bit more smoothly, so you're spending more time rewarding your dog and building their confidence.
Now, we've just talked about 5 trick training exercises you can do anywhere with your dog. Click that link right there if you want to find out some more living room lessons where you can work on some obedience exercises with your puppy anywhere. If this is your first time on the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We publish new videos here on YouTube to help you to have a well-behaved 4-legged family member. On that note, I'm Ken.
I'm Kayl.
This is Cheerio. Happy training.